Welcome back, Dodecadorks. We're the 12-sided guys. We have Scott as Ornan.
Out.
Sylvius.
At your service.
Sabrina as Cilvy.
Oh, hello.
Jordan as Mawgrim.
You're most welcome.
Matt as Guy.
That is my name. Don't wear it out.
And me, Paul, as the guy who already gave up on his New Year's resolution. TPK! TPK! Come on, guys, chant with me. TPK! TPK!
TPK.
Oh, sorry, you guys aren't supposed to chant with me.
Boo! Boo! No TPKs! Boo!
I can't believe you guys chanted with him. Like, what the f*** is wrong with you? I didn't do that. I just want to mention, go back and listen to that recording. I did not chant.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe this will get you excited. Our patrons may have noticed something pop up on the 12-Sided Guys Patreon last week. For anyone who's not a patron, let me be the first to announce your neighbor's potatoes. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is/are your neighbor's potatoes? Well, it's our new after show exclusive to patrons at the $5 tier and up, where we chat about the episode that dropped that week. The first episode featured Matt, Scott, and Jordan discussing running into Jib Jab, fighting the Otyugh, how long you should let meat sit before you just start cooking it, etc. A few times a month, patrons will...
And casting, spare the die, or what was the spell? What was the spell?
It was a gentle repose.
Gentle repose on
your steak.
Oh, yeah, that makes it taste better. Anyway, a few times a month, patrons will get to hear us chatting about the episode's shenanigans, mysteries, and random thoughts that protrude into our streams of consciousness. So check it out. Your neighbor's potatoes. That's Thieves' Cant for really awesome bonus content. Anyway,
your neighbor's potatoes sure does pull a lot of weight in Thieves' Cant.
I thought it was Thieves' Cant for picking your neighbor's potatoes.
Well, anyway, if you keep seeing TikToks about loofahs at the Villages, America's friendliest hometown, but it just reminds you of a Fortress of Doom, then this podcast is for you. It's Chorus of the Forsaken, episode 20. I know I've used that joke before, but last time I said Sinistrals, not Fortress of Doom.
Fortress of Doom is the first one. Sinistrals is the second one. Are you talking about old people swinging?
I'm so confused.
Am I right? Is it old people swinging?
You are. You see
that's
golf
Lufia,
carts,
right? I'm trying to remember.
It's Lufia and the Fortress of Doom, but no, in the Villages. They'll put loofahs on like their on their golf carts or on their cars or on their doorknobs or whatever, and the different colors mean different things in the swinging community. And if you did not know, the Villages is America's friendliest hometown. The Villages.
So basically, it's a non-biodegradable pineapple.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry. It popped up in my feed like 3 times.
Swinging?
I'm not sure what your feed is full of.
Why do I keep getting big booty girls? I don't want to see these.
Why does this keep happening to me?
Was that what he was talking about? I know that was a joke, but anyway, regardless.
Have you guys seen the guy who cranks Soldier Boy into inappropriate, like just songs in general? Or is that just me?
No, but it sounds amazing.
Every song that goes he'll just like crank it. It's really good. Never mind.
There was a guy over the holiday remixing like rap songs into holiday music, and I loved every single one of them.
Oh, there I ruined it. That guy.
Good.
No,
there I ruined it. Yeah.
So the best one is the old timey "There I Ruined It" for Holler Back Girl or Holla Back Girl. It was really good, and in fact, it was so good that at the end he said, "There I made it," or I don't know, "There I fixed it," or I don't know, something like that. Anyway, it was really good.
Really quick, Soldier Boy, that Soldier Boy. Apparently, my high schooler knows that song and like they dance to it and stuff. Like it's popular.
What?
Oh, really?
I know. They played it after one of her dance competitions, and everybody was like, "Oh!" And they like all knew the dance moves and everything.
It's gotta be like that slide to the left, slide to the right. Like, it's just like one of those things where it skips a generation.
Crisscross.
Cha-cha, real smooth.
Everybody clap your hands. Gosh, what a terrible time.
That's so funny. Oh, gosh. Wow. Well, welcome back to Via Severia and the city of Redlam. Last time we were together, we joined our heroes, Mawgrim, Cilvy, Guy, and Ornan, still in the Shrine of Sylvanus.
Nailed it.
Sylvanus.
Still in the Shrine of Sylvanus.
Really high up in the anus.
Yeah, you got to just raise the pitch like as high as you can, right on anus.
Well, anyway, they had just finished defeating these large insectoid creatures that kind of made everyone go a little crazy if you looked at them too long. Our heroes took a little break. They spent some time with Arnold, their new ally, the druid, and the dead body of Hubert, the hog who was slain. After taking 10 minutes for Mawgrim to cast some sort of a Kelimvor's blessing upon Hubert to preserve his body, Guy and Cilvy were exploring the library. Cilvy decided to grab that book about the flora from between 300 and 500 years ago, whatever that book was talking about. She slipped that into her bag as they continued to explore the shrine. As they headed down towards the dormitory, they heard a voice call out saying, "Stay away, I can't guarantee your safety," or something to that matter. But our heroes still ventured down into the dormitory where they saw a figure dressed in dark clothing. Turning around, it was Jib-Jab. Jib-Jab then, touching the roots on the wall, Jib-Jab was able to transport themselves out of the room, through the trees, and out into the forest beyond as a giant monster with 3 legs and long tentacles came crashing out of the foliage here in the room. A fight ensued. Some people got grappled and smacked and stabbed, and even Ornan got bit twice and is now diseased. He is losing permanent hit points until he can pass a Constitution save at the beginning of each day. After beating this creature, Guy ran out of the shrine to try to catch up to Jib-Jab, where he spotted them up in a tree. Jib-Jab was going to leave, and then suddenly a bear attacked Guy, but was shot down by Jib-Jab. What else did you guys talk about again? I'm trying to remember. Guy brought up the idea of a shared vision, as well as seeing their old companions way back in Oak Road, as well as the memory of Loida, which really seemed to get to Jib-Jab, but Jib-Jab still traveled through trees further away from Guy as Guy lay underneath this dead bear. But I guess he was able to just,
Guy's a fan of weighted blankets, so he stayed there for a little bit.
No, Guy was able to pass between and get out from underneath the bear as everyone else came to join Guy. Some discussion was had, and then everyone moved back into town. As you were moving into town, you spotted this square, and Mawgrim noticed something strange about the statue in the middle of the square. It was an older woman. It looked surprisingly similar to one of the statues that they saw in the roadside ruins on their way into Redlam. This statue looked like the statue of the last queen of Oclaria, the previous kingdom that is now the Alaron Barony. And this queen's name was Saskia. This looked like the older statue that was holding a shield. As you were investigating this statue, I made everyone make a deception or a performance check. Guy and Mawgrim were solid as a rock, but Ornan and Cilvy both turned their head as somebody called out, "Wilhelm!" giving away that yes, Guy in fact was Wilhelm Lionstorm. I can't
Best
say
name
it.
ever.
I can't say it with a straight face. This elf with black hair and dark skin came out to speak with you and to tell you that he was a member of the Ravenstone Clan, which you all recognized as a mob family, a crime syndicate of some kind here in Redlam, probably the biggest name in crime in the entire city. And he told you that he had someone that needed to speak with you about a job. And that's pretty much where we left off. We are currently here, still in this square. We have the statue of Queen Saskia, which is facing off towards the west, holding this large shield. We have Ornan sitting on a bench after emptying his stomach multiple times from his disease. And we have Cilvy and Mawgrim and Guy talking with this elf. If you'll please follow me.
Come on, everybody. We're going to try his mother's mashed potatoes, I think is what we said.
I do love me some good old mashed potatoes. I hope they're buttery.
Says, if you'll follow me, I will take you to my employers. And then he starts heading north.
I'll say to everybody else, I don't really have a choice here. If you don't want to come with me, I totally understand. But I could use the company. And I will follow.
I'll come with you. I love potatoes.
There will not be potatoes.
I'm so confused.
Are you okay enough to handle this?
As long as I can lean on someone, I can stand for a few more hours, but I should get a lay down pretty quick here.
Come with me, friend.
It has been long enough. You each got a short rest if you want one. So go ahead and burn, hit dice, and get back whatever skills you need.
If we want one.
If you want one.
Yeah, I'm totally going to take one.
Okay, so Ornan and Mawgrim, are you guys going with Guy, or are you heading somewhere different?
I'll go with them, but I'm just trying to make it clear that I need to go to bed soon.
Yeah, if Ornan is going for it, then Guy will accompany him to try to make sure he at least has somebody alongside him.
Your name is Mawgrim.
What did I say?
You said
Guy. Yeah, that's yeah, I don't have any clever retort to that.
It is okay.
Yes.
We are changing characters for today.
Well, that's my name. Don't wear it out.
That's pretty good.
I can't pull it out.
That's pretty good.
Now, I just want to. My max HP went down by 1, right?
I think so far it's only gone down by 1. But
Okay.
every morning that you fail your Constitution save, it will go down by D10 again.
Okay.
Well, Mawgrim will have some urine for him by then.
Also, every morning there's a halo hanging from the corners of your girlfriend's
I know it's
four-post
dumb,
bed.
But
I know it's not mine.
I was trying to say it, but
Should take it for a weekend or a one-night stand.
I know
Yeah.
it's dumb, but I don't know this song.
I was trying to talk, but I was fighting a cough. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, this elf, who still has not told you his name, begins moving north through the city.
Okay, Guy, I suppose you can, will follow after you. Ornan, I'm happy to be your support.
I appreciate that, Mawgrim.
And I'll be your bodyguard. Cilvy will stand up. Buggy.
Oh, Cilvy, you're too kind. Thanks.
So, just so everyone's aware, we're heading into a den of thieves, quite literally. This is the Ravenstone Clan. They run a lot of the crime here in the organized crime here in Redlam.
Wouldn't it be
Usually
funny if I
you
were
wanna-
contagious? Get them all sick.
Maybe you should start biting them. I don't know. That's how you got sick.
That's true. Maybe a little nibble here and there.
I just picture us having an important conversation and Mawgrim is crawling around coughing, throwing up, biting people. Did I say Mawgrim? I meant Ornan.
Oh gosh. All right.
Okay, we're switching names today.
Yeah, we're all over the place. It's all good.
All right. Well, I am going to move you guys over to the next map. As you follow this elf, he takes you all the way north, all the way to the edge of the city, where it meets up and butts up against the lake, where the docks are. You can see as you approach the docks, he brings you to a point more on the eastern side of the docks. But you get down towards the pier, and you can look down to the west, and you can see more docks stretching out into the lake, and you can even see what looks like a large, I'm doing air quotes, a large ship there. It is a river vessel, but it looks like, Guy, you have operate vehicles water, correct?
Oh, vehicles, parentheses, water, yeah.
So you would recognize this ship. It's a river craft, but it is able to go into the ocean, at least if it stays close to shore. So this is going to be a relatively large ship for this lake, and it has banners flying. You can see that on the top of the main mast, you see a flag blowing in the wind that is half green, half white. This looks like it is the Baron's ship, and you can see from this vantage point, you can look down and you can see that there are people moving about the ship. Looks like they're getting it prepped and ready to set sail. So the Baron he has not left for his meeting with the king yet, but it looks like they are getting that all ready. As you approach this part of the docks, you see that this is a more seedy is the wrong word. It's just more run down. It's not nearly as busy. Whereas further west down the docks, you see people loading ships or boats and hauling in fish or crates from the local river travel, that kind of thing. Here, where you are at, you see that there's a couple of old, sort of dilapidated buildings. You can see that there is this kind of warehouse. As you approach, you see that there is a sliding barn door on one end, and then it's a tiered wharf. So you approach the lake, and then there's a step down to another stone level. Then there's another step down onto the docks. So you are still standing up above the lake, but you can see this warehouse is built where you can access it from multiple floors on different sides. And again, these kind of rundown houses. You see a few people milling about here, but this elf takes you right down the stairs towards the docks. And anybody who wants to follow can, but he is waiting for you to approach. It seems like you're taking a little bit longer just because you've got Ornan is not feeling well. He stops in front of this large barred iron door. It looks like it leads under the city into the sewers/storm drain system under the city. As you approach, he reaches over and puts a key into a little keyhole and then swings the door open. It moves on well-oiled hinges, making not a sound. And then he turns back towards you and he says, "If you'll please follow me." And then he moves down into the door, and there's a staircase that descends further down beneath the city.
I'll follow.
Everybody's going to follow.
Yeah, I think we all do.
I guess we're committed.
Okay.
Yeehaw.
As you walk down these stairs, it goes down about 20 feet or so and then opens up into this large room. It's about 25 feet by 25 feet. You can see that the center of the room is actually, it's like a waterway. You can see that there is kind of sludgy, stinky, stagnant water. It looks like there's a pipe on the north side of this room that the water can flow out into the lake. There's a pipe on the east side. It looks like it's moving further into this system of pipes and rooms that feeds the drainage system for the city. And there is a pathway with.
Really quickly. While you're doing that, it's pretty dark in here for my character, so he's going to pull out a flare that he has in his satchel and kind of light that up. It's his light cantrip, but I'm reflavoring it to be flare. So,
is that 20 feet?
Yeah, it's 20 feet.
Okay, cool. Awesome. You light this up, and now you can see what I'm describing as well. You see this kind of stagnant, stinky water. You see there's also a...
Yeah, maybe you didn't want to see the actual floaters in the water.
I regret this immediately. Oh.
So
I expected it to smell worse, but maybe it's because my nose doesn't work right now.
Well, the flare, I think, is burning some of the vapors as well.
Oh, don't step there! Careful! Sorry, I saw Mawgrim move.
That was me. That was me. I thought I was moving the elf guy. Yeah. So you can see that to the south there is this tunnel, and you can see that there is like a channel that runs down the center of this tunnel, moving water and sewage down like throughout the city. As this elf moves around to the south, down through this tunnel, it opens up into another room, and in this room you can see it also has this large kind of pooled area in the center with like 5-foot walkways all around the room. There's a couple places where you kind of have to jump across to get over the sludge. You can see pipes feeding water in and pipes feeding water out. You can see there are some wooden walkways that look like they're covered in slime and just kind of slippery and gross. But you can also see in this room here to the south, at the end of this tunnel, there's another tunnel heading off to the west, but there is a staircase on a small platform that goes further down under the earth. And the elf leaps across and is going to go down those stairs. For this next section, I need everyone to make... actually, can everyone jump 5 feet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
but I was
should be able to.
Ornan can jump 17.
I don't think that's an issue.
I was going to say, though, Paul, kudos for you when you made this map that you made all the water brown.
I did make the water brown.
Yes.
It is so gross looking.
Disgusting.
Honestly, I'm a little nervous to go below water leveled in here.
Well, it makes me nervous about the lake out there. Is all this just flowing into the lake water? Is there an outlet for that lake?
So, can I tell you guys a story? I used to live in Portugal for a little while, and I was in the city of Porto, and I was looking down at the river, and I saw all these fish just swimming in place. I'm like, why are those fish just swimming in place against the flow of the river?
Oh my God,
and then I saw this little pipe sticking out into the water right below the surface, and my companion turned to me and he said, this is why you don't eat fish caught in this river, because it was just dumping like stuff right out into the river. So... yes, I mean
that sounds like Vancouver Lake.
And this stuff does just flow right out into the river.
Gross.
Or into the lake. Yes. So the elf has descended down these stairs further beneath the earth.
I'm heading down.
You're heading down.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do this.
As you all descend further and further down beneath the earth, the stairs, they head south. You enter into this kind of tunneled, vaulted stairway that heads down for quite some time. You figure you're walking down, it's probably less than a minute, but it seems as you're moving slow, the stones are kind of slick with sludge and with age and just kind of the natural moisture down here.
Poop.
Yeah, you realize you are below the level of the lake right now. And you can see there's this like on the stones, this is all built, like this is all actually manufactured. This is not a naturally occurring cave or anything like that. But you can see that the stones that make up the walls, they are, some of them are kind of glossy and wet. So it seems like there is water that can still seep into this area, but for the most part, it's dry. As you continue down the stairs, you enter into this room. It is 25 feet by 25 feet. The first thing that you notice is that you enter kind of on the east side, but on the west side of the room, you see a couple of benches against the wall, and you see a doorway. You see this little hall and then a door, and sitting on the benches, you see two rough-looking individuals. You see a woman with scars on her face and a mace across her lap, and you see a man who has an eye patch, and he looks like he's cleaning his nails with a knife. Classic,
Classic bad guy.
Yeah, classic bad guys. As you descend down the steps, neither of these two individuals stand up, but they both look at you, and they look at this elf. The elf steps forward, and he says to them,
something about potatoes, because that's what we've established Thieves' Cant is all about.
I'm trying to remember what I was going to call these people. Give me a second. They're the Ravenstone Clan.
He comes in and he's like, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew, and they're like, you may go.
They smile knowingly.
So he steps up to these two individuals and he says, they're with me. It's okay. They're expected. And then the two of them just kind of shrug and sit back as the elf moves into the small hallway to open the door to the west and into a different room. Is anyone following?
I'm following. I'm the guest of honor, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go.
As the door opens, it's this heavy, thick oak door, but as the door opens, suddenly you hear laughter and talking and sort of the clink of drink and clatter of fork against plate, the rolling of dice and the cussing and spitting of a tavern, of a bar. You enter into this 30-foot by 30-foot underground bar, for lack of a better term. There is a bar with mugs of ale. Looks like there's a big shelf along the back that's full of bottles of wine and booze. You can see people milling about here. They all have this kind of shady air to them. There is an old lady that is just random old lady token. That is not who you think it is.
I was going to ask if we recognize her. I was pinging it.
Everybody here has like this air of danger and of mischief about them, except for one person. There is this old woman. She's got to be at least in her 80s, and she is over just kind of cooking away at this 4-burner stove, making some kind of food for everybody to eat. As you
Wait
walk
a second,
in,
they all have an air of danger, even random man.
yeah, even the
I was going to
bartender.
say, I don't know, random man looks very jolly, as
Random
always.
man has an air of danger, but the cook doesn't. Like, I know what cooks are doing. That cook is doing more drugs than anybody else in this room combined.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, look at her.
That's so
Meth,
funny.
dude, not even once.
Oh man. Okay. The door closes behind you as you enter this room, and yes, even the bartender has this. You see muscles, you see scars on his arms. It looks like he has. He's seen some things, but right now he's serving up drinks. And as you walk in, the elf he turns around and he says to you, "You all can wait in here."
There was this show called Raven when I was a kid about a dude in Hawaii who was a ninja.
Yes, a white dude in Hawaii who was a ninja.
There was this show called That's So Raven that was pretty great.
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. So this elf turns to you and says, "I have to go speak with the crows, but I'll be back. You can mingle." And then he leaves the room. There's a door to the north that goes further into this collection of rooms, this hideout, this base of operations. And he leaves you alone in this small underground tavern full of seedy folk. What do you guys want to do?
He starts looking around for the hand sanitizer.
You can see,
I mean, he just came through some stuff.
you see men and women eyeing you guys with passive perceptions that are as high as they are. You see some looking at you greedily, some looking at you warily. You see a few looking at you quizzically. And you see some looking at you with hostility.
Quick question for you.
Yeah.
So way back when I had first created Mawgrim for his backstory, I had written up a little bit about like the Krahanest and how the people who were initiates would move into kind of 3 categories: Nighthawks, Night Owls. Nighthawks were more military people. Night Owls were like academics or people like that. And then Crows were the other group, and they were more like they became business leaders or intelligence gathering people. They worked in political circles, things of that nature. Is this at all related potentially to that kind of stuff? Would Mawgrim
Why don't
be
you
like...
why don't you make an insight check?
Okie dokie. 22.
You find it odd that this elf left the room and said, "I got to go talk to the crows."
Okay.
Like that.
I'm really hoping one of them is Raven Simone.
I would love to meet them. That'd be so cool.
All right. So what are you guys gonna do? You're here in this little tavern full of rough characters.
I'm
The
building up to
bartender
the
walks
bar.
over. Yeah, the bartender walks over to you. All he says, "Well, while you wait, what'll it be?"
Something with a very high alcohol content to kill off any microbes that may have gotten into the glass.
What's a microbe? All right, that'll be 1 gold.
1 gold?
What? You got a problem with my prices?
per person or total?
I'm going to have
gold a drink.
I'm going to have my hand on the scepter, and I'm going to say, oh, come now. This isn't our first time visiting a place like this. I know you're just trying to get extra money out of the new guys, but it's all good. We understand. I'm going to try to persuade him to not charge us a gold a drink. Woo.
Hazing. I've heard of this.
Why don't you make a persuasion check?
That's a 26.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. All right, everyone make insight checks as this guy he backs down. Make insight checks.
Ornan got a 7 with disadvantage.
Mawgrim got a 16.
Cilvy got a 12.
And Guy got an 18.
Guy and Mawgrim, you both realize people don't pay for drinks down here. So he backs down and he says, all right, 5 silver apiece.
There's 4 of us. How about 5 silver, whatever.
All right. He takes your 2 gold, your 5, 5, 5, and 5, and he starts handing out drinks. The mugs are clay. They are beat up. One of them has a broken handle. You have to hold it with 2 hands instead of by the handle. And the alcohol in it smells strong. But you guys now have a drink, and you guys can mingle, or you can discuss what's going on with your situation if you want to.
Any idea what is going on?
Ornan's going to shotgun the drink.
Well, and also, this all happened so fast that Guy didn't even have a chance to really explain what was going on. All right.
For lack of a better term, I have been blackmailed to be here. Whoever this man works for here in the Raven... I keep wanting to say Feather Bottoms. The Ravenstone Clan. They know who I am and they want to make use of my experience.
How familiar are you with these people?
I've never worked for them before. I've avoided them at all costs.
Do you know if they have any ties to the Inquisition?
Typically, no. They, I wouldn't put it past them to sell somebody out to the Inquisition for money, but typically they are not the most law-abiding of people. And the Inquisition tends to be pretty much sticklers for the rules.
Well, not everybody in the Inquisition is sticklers for the rules. It was interesting when the individual went back and said he was going to go converse with the crows. In the Krahanest, there are different factions, and one of the factions was, at least when I was around, was known as the Crows, and they were more in the business of information gathering and influencing the public opinion of people. And so I don't know that any of these individuals are going to be directly related to that, but it puts me on my guard, to say the least.
It wouldn't be a huge leap to think that somebody in the intelligence business would use that to turn a profit in an environment like this.
Precisely.
I haven't heard anything. Honestly, like I said, I've tried to avoid them.
I think that's wise, and I think similarly, if it is a situation where they have leverage over you, there might not be much that we can do except placate them and then disappear as quietly and quickly as we possibly can.
That's what I'm thinking. Honestly, the leverage is simply that they know my former alias.
Well, let's try to leave it at that.
Bartender, can I have another?
Wait, so there's no mashed potatoes?
Well, you can go ask that old lady over there.
Yes, there has been a lot of talk about potatoes. I am thoroughly confused.
Sylvie's gonna wander over there and just ask for the most mashed potatoes.
It's like, oh, mashed potatoes! I got your mashed potatoes! Y'all, you're scaring us.
I got them extra mashy.
I know you like them extra mashy. It looks like she's making some kind of a stew of some kind, something hearty and something relatively cheap.
with potatoes in there, yes.
Yeah, there's potatoes in there, yes.
So, I will say this. You know how there are certain languages that are tonal in nature? Well, Thieves' Cant is potato-based.
It just makes so much sense now.
It's all so clear now.
You hear about languages that have like 20 words for snow. Well, this one, potato, means like 50 different things.
Mawgrim, as you guys are all talking, as you see Cilvy head off to talk with the woman, Mawgrim, you spot this woman. She's slight. She is bundled up. She's got, looks like a sword at her hip. But as Cilvy walks past, you see her hand quickly dart out and reach back in. Cilvy, what's your passive perception?
It is...
Oh, no.
Perception? It's 10.
Yep. What's everybody's passive perception? I know Mawgrim is high enough.
Ornan's is also 10.
Gee's is 14.
Okay. Gee, you also see this. Mawgrim and Gee, you watched Cilvy get a little coin purse lifted off of her. So, Cilvy, well, here's the deal. I'm going to have you roll a d20, and that's how many gold this person manages to get from you.
All right. They got 4 gold.
Okay.
That's fair.
As Cilvy moves past, you see this woman kind of like settle back down on the stool and glance back over at the rest of you. And she recognizes that Mawgrim and Gee saw what she did. And she
I'm going to take
over.
An intimidating stance.
Well,
I was going to say.
Before you can do anything, she grabs a mug and she kind of raises it to you in a little salute and takes a sip. Go ahead and make an intimidation roll. With advantage if Mawgrim's helping you.
I'm still holding my scepter, yeah. That's a 24. You should not have given me this scepter, Paul.
Yeah, I love it. This is great.
You see her raise her glass in a toast, and then she goes to sip it and immediately like turns her back to you. Like you can tell that all that bravado, that was as much bravado as she could muster before she had to avert her gaze from you. But she has not given the money back. All right. As you are all in here with your drinks, is anyone actually drinking? Oh,
no, I'm not going to be drinking.
Ornan is on his 3rd.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that Gee is sipping Gee is. I know you don't sip vodka, but he's sipping vodka.
Okay.
Yeah, Cilvy is
because it's potato based.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
Cilvy is tearing into this soup, but she is sipping on the drink that the bartender gave her.
I thought they said this drink was strong.
Is Ornan like Legolas? Is he like, I think I'm starting to feel something. A slight tingling in my fingers.
At this point, I don't think that Ornan, being intoxicated can make him any worse than he already is. So I think Ornan's like bulletproof right now as far as getting drunk.
I'm hoping that this drinking might, do something to the poison in me.
You drink enough, you might throw up, and then maybe you'll feel better.
I was going to walk up to that girl and without getting too close, like maybe standing more than arm's distance away from her, say, it's not a very nice way to greet newcomers to this place.
She kind of, her back is to you, but she kind of like turns around and looks at you out of the corner of her eye. You can see that she's not hiding her nervousness very well, but she says, you ain't one of us, and you got to pay the toll.
And who are you to extract the toll?
She's like, I belong here. You do not. So pay the toll, or, there may be some trouble.
Trouble? From you?
She looks around the room. She's like, I have friends here. You do not. So why don't you head on back over to your friends, and we'll consider this a done deal.
I'm gonna try and do something here. This may not. I'm not very intimidating or anything here, so this could be a total dud.
Are you wearing your plague mask?
Yeah, and you also still have Gee holding his intimidating posture. behind you.
Yeah, he's got his plague mask, but he's wearing the yellow outfit, so they counteract each other.
Which, by the way,
holding the scepter, but it's kind of like a little bit flamboyant, and you're just kind of twirling it around.
You're like my daughter running around with her fairy wand that has a star on the end.
Exactly.
I love it.
by the way, we're burning all these clothes as soon as we get out of here.
Surprisingly, it doesn't stink in this room. Well, I mean, it kind of does, but it smells of different things. It smells of, sweat and food and alcohol and kind of unwashed bodies, but not the smell of the sewage that was that preceded this chamber. Okay, Mawgrim, what were you going to do?
I was gonna point to the scars on my face and say, "Do you know where these scars come from? Your friend went to go speak to the crows, did he not?"
What? Want to know how I got these scars?
So I had her roll, and she rolled a natural 9. You get the impression she is already intimidated by you guys. She looks at your scars, and you see her trying to make things click in her brain. And the only thing that she can make click is you have scars and you're still here, so you must be tough. So she reaches over and she grabs this little purse that was Cilvy's and she tosses it back to you and she says, "Fine, keep it." And then she turns back around and starts drinking her drink again.
Okay, that's all I want. I'll go back and give that to Cilvy.
And with everybody's passive perception, you see other people around the bar. Some of them look angry at what just happened. The people are watching. You see a couple of them are smiling and kind of like laughing and whispering to each other about this little situation that just happened. As you all are in this tavern and talking, trying to figure out what's going on, the door to the north opens again, and your elven friend comes walking back in.
Quote unquote friend.
Quote unquote friend. He says, "The crows are ready for you. Please follow me." And then he moves back through this door to the north and into the chamber beyond.
I will follow. Okay. Holding onto my scepter. I love this thing. I feel like I need to wrap it in like old leather so it doesn't look quite so regal.
Ornan finishes his drink and then follows.
Cilvy will follow, holding onto her purse.
I too will follow. And I'll hold on to my scepter too. Wink, wink.
As you guys move into the next chamber, you see this next chamber.
Wait, don't forget Ornan. I think he may be passed out under a table somewhere.
No, I'm finishing this one. I'll be right there.
Are you holding onto your scepter too?
You'll have to take this hand, Ornan. My other hand is full.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Your hand is so hard.
Oh my gosh. As you guys move into the next chamber, you see this chamber is a little bit larger. Down the middle of the chamber is this, it's not one table, it's like 3 or 4 long trestle tables that are all laid end to end. So it looks like this one really long table with these kind of mismatched chairs that are all placed underneath it. Nobody's sitting at the table right now, but it looks like this is some kind of conference room. Off to the right on the eastern wall, you can see that there is a small channel of this brackish brown fluid that is moving through the chamber from one pipe into on the south into a pipe on the north side of the room. And there is a doorway on that eastern wall, but there's a wooden plank is set across this nasty water to get to that doorway. But on the left side of this room, you see that along the wall there are all these bedrolls that are just kind of laid out, pillows and blankets kind of tossed over any which way. You see there's a couple of people in here just kind of sitting on their bedrolls, like laying back, having a conversation. When you come in, their conversation dies down, and as you move past them, it picks back up again. And on kind of in the center of,
I'm sad to see I missed the pajama party.
They look at you with blank / slightly angry eyes. But in the center of this wall on the west side of the room, there is a little hallway and an archway that opens up into another room beyond. And that is where your elven friend, quote unquote, takes you. As you step into this room to the west, you see that the floor is covered. It's still the same, like, old stone, not clean, very, very old and aged, but the floor is covered with expensive carpets, mismatched carpets, but very expensive looking. You can see there are some expensive like leatherback chairs in the corners. You can see that there are lights and lanterns on the wall. You can see that there on the west side of this room, there is a small dais and there are 2 thrones sitting on the dais. And then to the south, there's also a chamber, looks like a chamber beyond. It looks like some sort of a bedroom or something, but the door is mostly closed. There are a few people in this room. In one corner, you see this woman in armor wearing a helmet, and she is chatting with a woman who is younger but hooded. She's small and frail is the wrong word, but she's kind of waif-like. They're both humans. They are sitting in kind of the southern corner of the southeastern corner of this room, talking, but your eyes are drawn to the 2 figures sitting on these 2 thrones in this chamber. You see that there is a man sitting in one throne. He is a human man. He has a slightly receding hairline, dark black hair. He's got thick brows, clean shaven, and sort of a knowing look on his face.
He kind of looks like he might be the voice of Lego Batman.
How did you know? I didn't think it looked like him that much.
Oh, it totally looks like him.
It definitely does.
I was like, AI, make me Will Arnett, but fantasy. And there he is.
Oh, yeah.
And then sitting next to this man, you see a halfling woman. She is short, as all halflings are. She is like petite features. If you were just looking at her from a distance, you might think she is a child. But she is. She's got her hair done up in braids. She's wearing like an expensive, like a vest that has like a high collar on it, and then it kind of hangs down. Like a duster that doesn't close in the front. Does that make sense? She's wearing
with like no sleeves.
Yeah, no sleeves, but she's wearing a dress underneath it, right? So she's dressed very nice and very posh.
So kind of like something like a fancy old lady would wear.
Sure, but she's not old. She's probably in her maybe late 20s, early 30s, and they are both sitting here on this dais. The man speaks up and he says, "Eldarin, thank you very much for bringing this friend to us." And then the elf kind of bows, and then he steps off to the side and goes and sits in one of the chairs that are around the room. The man speaks up again. He says, "Wilhelm, step forward. I'd like to speak with you, please."
I will go ahead and step forward and say, I'm the one who was formerly known as Wilhelm. To what do I owe the honor of this invitation?
He starts to answer, Mawgrim, with your passive perception. As he turns his head, every once in a while, the light of the torches flickers against his skin, and you see the faint glisten of scar tissue right around his neck and across his cheek. It looks like this man has some old scars on his body, similar to Mawgrim, although they don't seem to be. They don't seem to be like thick or like really jagged. They seem very thin and very well healed. So either he was able to afford like healing, or he never really got hit that bad during the Krahanest training that you went through.
If he's a Krahanest, I mean, he may just have facial scars. That happens.
It happens to people named Crows a lot.
Mawgrim, you're fairly certain your suspicions with your insight that you're correct, that at least this man is connected somehow to Krahanest. So the man steps down off of his throne. He says, "Well, Wilhelm, or formerly known as Wilhelm Lionstorm, I'm Calum, and I am one of the crows here of the Ravenstone Clan. Your reputation precedes you. It is an honor to have you here, and hopefully we'll be able to come to some kind of an agreement where you can do us a favor and we can do you a favor."
That sounds amenable. Or I would be amenable. That sounds okay.
He's really crushing this. Woohoo!
As you're swinging your scepter around your head.
Negotiation master.
I know. I'm directing the choir with my scepter as I say those things.
He says, "Well, maybe pleasantries are not what's needed right now. Wilhelm. Can I call you Wilhelm? Is there something else you prefer?
It's honestly the greatest name I've ever come up with. Wilhelm Lionstorm. Yeah, it's sad that I don't use it anymore. So please, by all means, Mr. Lionstorm.
Well, Mr. Lionstorm, you have a reputation of two things. Helping people disappear, but also finding people that need to disappear. And I have need of someone who can find people.
Okay. I'm listening. And when you... Wait, hold really quick. Just so you know, I'm not a hitman. When people disappeared with me, it was someplace safe. It wasn't, somewhere in the lake.
Oh, no, that's not... No, you misunderstand completely. No, we want you to...
You forgive me when mob bosses say they want somebody to disappear and stuff. I make assumptions.
Everyone make perception checks as you guys are here in this room.
Wow, dude, way to stereotype.
Well, I rolled a nat 1 on my perception, so I got a 5.
Ornan also got a nat 1 and got a 1. Guys, the room's spinning a little.
Cilvy got a 12.
Mawgrim got a 19.
So, Cilvy, I'll say that you see that, like, decorating the walls, there are a couple of shields up here, like, set up. It looks like there are, like, it's designed to look like a great hall, but it's just kind of thrown together. Like, the rugs are expensive, but they don't match. There's no, like, the couches and chairs that are here, they're not, like, matching sets. It looks like this is sort of pilfered goods that have all kind of made their way in here because they were all expensive. But you see also on the wall, you see that there are some wanted posters decorating the walls. Cilvy, you see the wanted posters, but Mawgrim, you can actually make out what they say. You see that one of them has what looks like a stylized drawing of Calum, and it says, wanted Calum Skyweaver for organized crime against the Baron. And then you see the other one has a stylized image of, you assume it's this woman, this halfling woman sitting next to him, but it's much more vague, almost like nobody had a good description of her. But it says, wanted Kestrel Gamwich, wanted for crimes against the barony. So these two have their wanted posters decorating this chamber.
So she's a Kestrel and a crow?
Well, her given name is Kestrel. She didn't choose that. Her parents did.
It's like bird. She's
bird is the
word. So, Calum says, Mr. Lionstorm, I just need you to find someone for me. Bring them here. They'll be safe with me. I don't need you to hurt anyone. Have you heard of the Silent Voice?
Actually, yes, I had heard the term.
Well, I need you to find the leader of the Silent Voice. And if you can't bring them to me, at least tell me where they are.
Might I ask what your intentions are with them? It sounds like they might be in the same, of the same vein as I am, and I would hate to hobble their organization in some way.
Well, let's just say that your wanted poster has a sizable sum, but theirs is tenfold. So, you find them and tell me where they are, or I tell where you are. Oaken Throne, 3rd floor, room with the window overlooking the entry. You spoke with the Baron the other day. You must be very important.
And I have friends.
Oh, yes, we all have friends. Yes, we do. That's why I'm giving you this opportunity.
So, if I understand correctly, the job that you want from me is to find the Silent Voice, bring their leader to you.
Or at least tell me where they are, yes.
So that you can collect the bounty on them?
Yes.
And otherwise, I will be betrayed.
Not betrayed. I mean, you broke the law. I'm a concerned citizen. passive perception for Mawgrim. You see the halfling woman sitting on the throne next to Calum. You see her kind of not rolling her eyes, but you see her you see her eyebrows are getting furrowed, like she's not necessarily enjoying this. Enjoying is the wrong word. This is not the conversation she wants to be having.
Okay.
So, what do you say? What do you say, Wilhelm, Mr. Lionstorm?
Well, I would want to talk it over with my companions first. If you'd give us a minute.
Fine. Take all the time you need. You can head back into the room, the conference room behind you. My bride and I will be here until you're ready.
Your bride?
My bride. He looks over at
Are you
Kestrel.
one of those people who calls your wife your bride for like 30 years?
30 years. No, we're going on 6 years, though. 6 years of bliss. And now you see that she does roll her eyes.
Yeah, I'm going to gag. Anybody who calls their wife their bride after the wedding day has issues.
You see this elf, Eldarin, the elf who brought you here. You see him stand up and walk over with you and motion to leave this audience chamber, this throne room.
Okay, let's head out.
As you guys move back into the other room, the room with that long set of tables and all the bedrolls, there you are able to speak. Eldarin, this elf, is going to stand kind of in the hallway in that archway that leads back into the throne room, and he's just kind of watching you. He's not crowding you, so you guys can talk, and you guys can probably expect to not be overheard, but he is watching you.
I don't like this at all.
Yeah, it's a hard no for me. Can we go?
You also notice, Mawgrim, as you guys are talking, you notice that those the two figures that were talking, they were kind of sitting on a big pile of like pillows, random like really expensive looking pillows and like beat up old nasty pillows with all these bedrolls. They both stand up. They are one of them is very, very tough looking with an axe across her back. The other one looks grizzled as well, but it has a mace on her belt. And they both go stand in front of the door to the south, heading back into the tavern. The only way out of this room now that does not have somebody in front of it is the doorway to the east, which goes across that small plank that goes over the nasty, disgusting water.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting out of here.
Yes, they're pretty determined to have us do their work for them. I will say this, the individual that you were speaking with in there, he is almost assuredly a member of a Krahenest, likely of the faction of crows. That means that he likely will have some ties to the Inquisition, but as is the case for almost all of these individuals that are members of the crows, they are more interested in power and influence and control than they are to subservience or rigid adherence to the rules. That may or may not be something in our favor.
Do you think there's anything you could say to him to maybe rattle him?
I doubt it. And to be honest, I did not exactly leave on good terms when I departed from the Krahenest, from the Inquisition. I was part of the more academic side, the Night Owls. I specialized in the medicinal research and other sorts of arcane research that they were conducting at the time. But when I fled that organization, I was high enough in the organization that I became privy to certain elements that were happening within. They sought me for a period of time. Granted, this was a long time ago, over a decade and a half. But regardless, the last thing I would want is for something to spread word that they potentially have found me.
I gotta say, I'm a little excited. I've never been stuck in a thieves' den before. I wonder what's going to happen.
You throw up, that's what happens.
Well, Ornan, what do you want to happen? Do you want to give this guy a bloody nose?
Oh, gee, I shouldn't like to bonk anybody if they're not actively hurting me, but I don't know. The room's spinning a little. I don't know if I could actually hit anyone.
I mean, I'm pretty good to go, but Cilvy, are you pretty tapped out? Mawgrim?
I mean, I guess I just... And Sylvia's kind of going to look both ways and just say, can we not just say yes and then do no? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I just think maybe telling them what they want to hear would be best for the moment.
I would agree with Cilvy.
As you are having this conversation, suddenly you hear calling out from the throne room. You hear a voice say, "Come on, I'm getting bored. Make your decision." And then
we're trying to figure out how to lie to you. Give us a minute.
You hear a voice.
Drunk, so I'm just
You hear a woman's voice say, "Hush," and then the noise coming from the throne room quiets down again.
Well, honestly, Cilvy, I thought that maybe the Silent Voice would be an organization you'd be interested in. I was thinking we may even want to seek them out here anyway. I'm afraid, though, now, that if we say no, they know where we are. They know where we're staying. They know what we look like. And if we were to go find the Silent Voice, they may be able to tail us and locate them as well, even if we don't come back and report.
I mean, that's fair, but that's going to happen no matter what if we try to find them. So we might as well just say yes now and, I don't know, try to shake the tails and be double agents.
Honestly, I don't like being threatened. This guy, so pompous. That's my job. I'm supposed to be the pompous one.
Should we put that elf on the shelf?
I do not think your ego is really the point here right now, Wilhelm.
I know, but he's a bully. He's doing exactly the things that I tried to help people avoid.
And he's doing a really good job at being a bully. We should maybe let him win it.
Mawgrim, you hear, as you guys are discussing, you hear a voice. You can't quite make out what it is, but you hear a voice calling from the throne room, and you see that this elf, Eldarin, that he leaves and heads further into the throne room as if he was called by somebody. So he's no longer standing in the doorway.
It looks like they've summoned Eldarin back into the room. I have no idea why.
He comes stepping right back out. He says, "Excuse me, friends. They would like to discuss something more with you. If you'll follow me back into the audience chamber."
I'm going to head back in, again, holding the scepter, but this time ready to use it as a weapon if needed.
All right, I'll stay in the doorway, just in case.
Sylvia will follow Guy up.
Mawgrim, there you go. I was going to say, I see your token is still hanging out. Okay, there we go. Okay, Guy, as you...
And this time, as a kind of a power play, I am going a lot closer to their little throne room, to their thrones.
Okay. As you step forward towards the thrones, you can see that the demeanor, the mood has changed in here. Calum is now sitting with his head in his hand, just kind of like... flabbergasted is the wrong word, because just kind of like you get the impression if he were speaking, he'd be saying, "Fine, whatever." As Kestrel, this halfling woman, steps forward. And she says, "There's another option for you, Mr. Wilhelm. I don't know why my husband did not mention this before, but if finding the Silent Voice is not something you feel like you can do, there is perhaps something else you can do for us. Something maybe that doesn't stretch your morals, your conscience quite as much."
And what would that be? Also, I couldn't help but notice you didn't refer to him as your groom.
That's... She looks back at him. She's like, "Calum is a pompous ass, but I love him." And she turns back to Yugi and she says, "There is another job that we could use some help with that may be still in your wheelhouse. There is someone missing, but we know right where she is. We need her out. We need you to get her back to us."
Is she an associate of yours, or is she someone trying to get away from you?
Calum says yes, as Kestrel says, "She's my sister-in-law." And then Calum kind of looks at her and says, "Come on." She says, What? Calum's sister. We need you to get her from the castle and bring her back to us."
From the castle? Is she in
From the dungeons, to be exact.
Ah.
A rescue mission.
Yes, rescue.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit better, yes.
Is she in there for something she did? Like, is she
Of course.
guilty? And
Of course.
you want us to spring her out?
We're all guilty of some crimes here.
Calum stands up and he says,
I'm sure not.
Calum stands up and he says, well, yes, I guess that is another option. You could go and rescue my sister from the dungeons if you feel like you're up to it. If you don't feel that you can handle finding the silent voice for us. And then Kestrel speaks up and she says, Lorelei, she has a loose tongue, and we need to make sure that she is back to us before she lets anything out that she shouldn't.
You don't want ships sinking.
Loose lips sink ships.
Yes.
I've heard that.
What do loose tongues do? I'll use my imagination.
Kestrel says, if this seems more your speed, Wilhelm, we will overlook you being here in the city. We will not report you to any authorities, not to the Church of Iona and not to the Baron as to who you really are. And we can even get you into the dungeons without having to go through the castle. Even though, from what we hear, you have had access.
It was one time. Yes.
Yes. Well, there's another way, and we can get you there.
We just got named heroes, and now we're going to be villains.
That's right. We're officially heroes of the realm.
Well, not if you don't get caught.
But I'd feel it right here.
In your tummy?
I imagine, Scott, right now you're pointing somewhere, and we have no idea where it is because we're not in the same room.
Yes, this is true. I did
It's
point
right knee.
to
It's just
somewhere
right
on my
knee.
body.
The funny thing is he's pointing with his stump, so nobody knows what he's pointing at.
This is true. This is true.
What say you, Wilhelm and Associates? I'm going to make one roll here real quick. Give me 1 second.
Ooh, we're a law firm now.
Wilhelm and Associates.
Ooh,
We have
wait.
a party name now.
Wait, that actually could be our party name, especially since we did so much professional development in the first few episodes.
That's true.
Wilhelm and Associates. Oh my gosh.
I actually kind of love it.
I love it too.
Especially since none of us go by Wilhelm anymore.
Well, it's a hard no for me, but I don't know what my associates have to say.
I mean, I think it's up to you, Guy Wilhelm, Mr. Lionstrom.
You forgot to mention the shoe thing, the wooden shoe clopper maker thing.
Stop.
Sorry.
What's the time frame on this mission?
The sooner the better, Kestrel says. But I understand if you need a little time to prepare. Tomorrow would be as late as we would like to have you go. There's no saying what Lorelei has already said. And then Calum kind of says, come on, she wouldn't. And Kestrel says, I'm talking now, Calum. And he just kind of sits back. What say you?
I do not like the idea of being compelled into service. And so if we were to do this thing, it feels like we would need some sort of assurance that this is the last time that we would be called upon to act in such a way.
She says, well, I will send Eldarin with you to help guide you, as well as to be a hostage should you feel you need one. And you see like Eldarin's eyes kind of get wide, but he doesn't say anything. And then she says, and what assurance could I possibly give you?
Well, you could pay us, but not in coin. We would need some sort of information which would equal the scales in terms of balance. You know something of my associate here. We should know something of you.
She looks over at Calum and she says, very well. I tell you what, you go rest up, do whatever it is you feel you need to do to prepare. Tomorrow, when you come back, and before we send you down into the depths beyond, you can ask me one question, and you can ask my husband one question. And he kind of kind of sits down. He's kind of slumping in his chair, not like a petulant child or anything, but just kind of. This is not what he was hoping for, but he's not fighting against it, if that makes sense. She says, "How does that sound? One question of each of us. We know of Wilhelm, but we don't know anything about the three of you, and that's enough for us."
Okay. I believe that could be fair.
Well, then if we're in agreement, then I'll have Eldarin escort you out, and then you can arrive back here in the morning.
Very well.
Agreed.
She sits down. She says, "You're dismissed." And she kind of waves you away in a theatrical attempt to look regal.
I want to punch some noses.
Amazing. I love her. She's 10 out of 10 a queen.
Guys, I had an idea. We could come back with Gardenia.
Shh, I was gonna say that, but don't say it right now.
Oh, sorry. I just think that's the move, guys.
I'm like imagining Ornan like sloppy drunk trying to whisper and it not going well at all.
Yes.
Oh man, I was totally gonna say that as like an idea, but later.
Great minds think alike.
Eldarin, he steps forward and he says, "Well, please, let's leave the presence of the crows, and I'll escort you back out to the city streets."
All right, lead the way.
Okay. As you move back through this series of chambers, you move through the room that has the long trestle tables and the bedrolls. These two tough figures that were blocking the door to the south have now moved back onto their pillows, and they're just chatting again. But they're eyeing you as you walk past. As you move south back into the tavern, you hear snippets of conversation. You hear somebody saying, "Yeah, the damp dudes, they're all dead. They got one of them in jail, but yeah, we don't have to worry about them damp dudes anymore." And then somebody's like, "Even Leary?" And it's like, "And Marvin." As you guys move back through that entrance chamber and back up the stairs and into chambers filled with sewage, back out onto the street. Eldarin stands at this gate, looking around before he opens it for you all to vacate the premises, and he says, "Come back here at first light, and I'll let you in and take you back down to speak with the crows again." Everyone make insight or perception checks.
Guy got another nat 1 for a 5.
Ornan also got a nat 1 for a 4.
Cilvy got a nat 4 for a 4.
Oh my gosh.
Save us, Mawgrim.
Mawgrim got a 21 on insight.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay. All right. So what you notice, everyone else is I think everyone else is kind of like sweating a little bit as you guys leave. Like, dangerous place for you to be, for sure. Asked to do a very dangerous task, for sure. Mawgrim, as you are leaving, you glance back at Eldarin and you see worry on his face. You see fear on his face. As you recall, the crows said that Eldarin will accompany you, and this makes him very uncomfortable. You are standing out there. He has not turned back yet to go inside, so if anybody wants to ask him anything, feel free now before he closes the gate and heads back down.
How many of you guys are following us back to our tavern?
He looks back. He says, "Well, I don't think any of us are following you anymore. We know where you are."
Cool. So you're not watching us?
He winks at you. But Mawgrim, you notice that it is a display of confidence that does not actually, it doesn't touch his eyes. You still see the worry in his eyes.
Got it. Listen, Eldarin? Is that it? Eldarin?
Yeah,
Am I
Eldarin.
saying that right?
Yeah, Eldarin. Yeah.
Eldarin.
That's Spanish for the Darin.
Eldarin. Eldarin, I can tell that you are a little uncomfortable with this arrangement. Allow me to make something very clear. We are not naturally violent people, but we know how to handle ourselves. We have no intention of harming you in any way, shape, or form, but we are interested in protecting and preserving ourselves. And so, in order to do that, we need leverage. And you will provide us this leverage. Now, if things progress as we hope that they will, the situation will be resolved in due time, and you will have nothing to worry about, and you can go back to your life as you imagine it. But in the time being, we will require your cooperation with us.
I think with your 21 insight, he nods and he says, "Don't worry, I'll be very cooperative. We're going to need to work together for this to work." And he says, "Until tomorrow morning." And he closes the door, closes the gate, locks it, and he starts heading down the steps. Mawgrim, with your 21 insight, you can't shake the feeling. These guys are like infiltrators and bandits and ruffians and thugs and that kind of thing. Why aren't they doing it?
Yeah.
I mean, they have like, from what you saw at least 20 people in here. Some of them looked incredibly sly and sneaky. Some of them looked very tough. All of them looked ready to go, right? Like they all looked maybe not as strong or as seasoned or disciplined as you guys, but they all looked ready to fight, ready to ready to defend themselves or ready to act. Why you guys and not them? Okay, you are now up on the street. Eldarin is gone, and you guys are, it's probably about, I'm going to say like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It is fantasy fall. I guess it's just autumn. It's not fantasy. Autumn is just autumn. It is autumn now. And so the sun is starting to go down. It looks like you have another couple hours of daylight, maybe like 5:30 or 6. It's going to be pretty dark. So what would you guys like to do?
Ornan, I liked your idea. I think we should find Gardenia. She's a cop, right?
Yes.
I don't want to do crime.
I'm not planning on doing any crime either. That's a line I don't think I'll ever cross.
So you guys want to go find Gardenia?
Wait, anybody else want to weigh in?
I was ready to throw fists there. I'm glad it didn't go to that.
As you recall, Gardenia told you that she is now stationed in the High Ward at the constable's station there, the constabulary. High Ward is just south of Lakeside, which is where you guys are at currently.
Okay, we could either head right there to Gardenia, or hear me out. We could go someplace that they wouldn't expect us for a clandestine meeting. I could write to Tobias and have Tobias summon Gardenia for us, so we'd have a couple layers of insulation between us and her, so that whoever's watching us wouldn't necessarily know right away what we were planning.
Is she working directly with Tobias still, or is she doing something different now?
I assume he has connections, right? He's still the Baron's best friend. At least that's what he let us believe.
I would think so. I think you would know where to find her.
What do you say? Do we find another tavern? A place a little farther off the beaten path?
I'm going to need a lie down pretty quick here, especially if we're fixing to bonk some crows tomorrow.
And I mean, I'm willing to try to shake these guys. I'm not so sure just going to a different tavern and calling her through Tobias is going to be enough.
Do you have another way?
Well, no, I think maybe it might be best to just try to go back to the Oaken Throne and get Ornan feeling better, and then maybe just meet up with her there.
Well, what about your friend Calden, or what was the name of the caravan driver? You could have them go send a message for us.
Oh yeah, we could send Ryla.
So here's something I just want to point out to you players, as well as to all of our listeners. I handed off the character Gardenia and Calden to our players. So if you guys want to have conversations with yourselves, how about it?
Yes, we can do it.
Cilvy, go meet Gardenia.
Well, we can head back to the Oaken Throne and see if any of them are there and send word through them, hopefully, maybe. But there's also a chance they're not there anymore. Right now, we're just sitting around right outside the door talking. So maybe we start heading back that way, and if we can't think of a good way to summon Gardenia through someone else, we can just swing by the High Ward.
I think that is probably the best thing that we can do right now.
All right, let's do it.
Honestly, there's a lot to think about, but for me, the most important thing is trying to take care of Ornan.
Oh, Mawgrim, you're just so kind.
Well, who else am I going to stab in the neck with that weird metal thing that I have?
I'm getting accustomed to it.
Oh, gosh. Well, you guys start moving south through the city. You actually go in through the High Ward. You can see off to the west, you see the large Prolian archive sticking up above the rooftops. You can see the castle set on the hill, sort of in the center of the city. As you continue to move south, as you guys pass back through the square where the statue of Saskia, the queen of Oclaria was, that old woman statue holding the shield, heading back towards the oaken throne. Is there anything anybody wants to do before you get back to the tavern or to the inn?
I still want to go gong that shield with my scepter.
Okay. All right.
Ornan made a constitution save of 10. He's feeling a little better, but not great.
Okay.
But he does see piles of vomit that he left there earlier.
Oh, yeah. They're still there.
All right. Then you guys are back here at this square with this statue. So you all move up towards the statue, it looks like. Let me see here. Guy, I'll describe this intersection again. It's like a T intersection. The through road heads from the east to the west, and there's another road heading further south. But in the center of this T intersection, there is this large round planter full of flowers. There's benches around this planter, and then there is a little dais with a statue on top that has this depiction. This one is weather beaten and worn down a lot more than the one that was underground. But it is this depiction of Saskia, the last queen of Oclaria, before she knelt to the might of Meyerloff, to King Astolfo. And you see her holding this shield as she gazes to the west.
All right, I'm going to approach it, and I'm going to say, I just got to give this a try. And I'm going to tap on it. Not so hard that it would like clang off of everything, but just I guess like I'm playing a mezzo piano note on the chimes.
Okay. The shield is old and worn down, and it's got a patina on it because it looks like it's made of bronze or something. You hit it, and you see some like metal flakes kind of fall off as it ting. And nothing happens.
Guys, no. When we were down there, we put the helmet on the head. Here.
And Ornan pulls the helmet off of his head and says, why don't we try that?
You're going to climb up on this massive, 15-foot statue.
Sure. Well, maybe not me. I'm still feeling a little dizzy.
Here, I'll do it. I have my gloves of climbing and swimming. Which haven't come into play yet.
All right, stand on my shoulders. I'll steady you.
Oh, yeah. When I was here before, I was looking for a plaque. I didn't get a chance to find it because we were interrupted and blackmailed by the mob.
But you do remember that it looked like there was some discoloration on the stone where a plaque or a little label had been. Yeah.
And I was going to start kicking around there in the grass. So while I'm doing this with the helmet, if anybody else wants to look around for it.
I'll have a look around.
Mawgrim seems to be really good at perceiving things.
Okay. I'm climbing up the statue with the helmet in tow.
Okay. Very good. As you are climbing up the statue, you realize that the head of this statue is going to be way too big for this helmet, but it's worth a shot.
How's it look up there?
How many people are watching me?
People are kind of moving through. This is it's not the busiest intersection, but it's a busy intersection. You see people moving through, pushing wagons. You see, there's a kid leading some geese. You see that there's just a kind of normal traffic in the city that you would expect. You also see on the corner, you see a guard has stopped and is looking at you. And from this distance, you're pretty sure you can see a little smile on his face. Like, what is this guy doing?
I'll yell over. I'll say, "Her head looked cold," and I'll try to put the helmet on.
Ding! You set the helmet on top of the statue. And do you climb down or you leave it up there?
I'm gonna sit up there on her shoulders for a little bit with the helmet on there, just enough time to see if anything happens.
Got it. Okay. And is anybody else kind of looking around for a plaque?
I mean, I'm kind of busy watching this dude climb up on the statue.
Priorities.
Don't worry, I'll catch you if you fall.
Yeah, no, I'll look around.
Okay, cool. Why don't you make an investigation check?
Yeah, not very good. A 9.
Oh, jeez.
All right, yeah. As you're looking around, I mean, it looks like you see that there was a plaque here as well. But I mean, there's lots of flowers here, and you start like walking through and kicking around, like looking for something. As you're standing in a flower bed, finally the guard kind of shakes his head. He starts walking over. He's, all right, get down from there. Get down from there. I'll have you arrested for public intoxication.
Woo, party! And I'll take the helmet and toss it down to Ornan and climb down.
Ooh, okay. We got caught. Let's go.
Never broke the law. He's like, all right, get out of here. And then he's like, you're messing up the flowers. All right, you guys scoot on out of this square and head back to the Oaken Throne.
Well, we've tried everything I could think of and nothing worked, so I think there's nothing to that statue.
Let me move you all down out of the bathrooms at the Oaken Throne.
Oh, that's Who's right. Missing? We were peeking at kids.
I'm back in our room. I think I'm in our room or close to it.
I forgot about that.
What? Yeah, how did you get on the second floor? Here, come on, here you go.
I don't know where I am. I'm lost and scared.
Help! I'm lost in the Oaken Throne.
I'm moving you all together,
I'm
guys.
between the walls again.
I know. I'm stuck in the
having
walls.
a really strange out-of-body experience where I feel like I can see through two people's eyes.
Oh,
like
shoot!
I can see Calvin Silvercrest like resting in bed, and I can also see Ornan like walking into the bar.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Who's this smiley guy?
He's just a servant. This is random male servant. All right. As you guys enter the Oaken Throne, you can see that there are people milling about. You see that the bartender is back. She's serving up drinks. She's this dwarven woman with dark brown hair. You see that there is a halfling woman playing like a lyre of some kind on the stage. It's just a normal kind of afternoon, evening at the Oaken Throne. You're a little bit early for dinner, so you know that the rush is going to pick up at some point. But yeah, you guys are in here. You guys going to order some food? What do you guys want to do here, I guess, for the next little bit?
I've been craving taters.
I'm going to call it a night. See you in the morning.
Okay.
We'll come get you if we have a conversation with our friend, the Fuzz.
I trust you. Just let me know in the morning.
I'll actually go up as well with, I'll come up in a moment, Ornan. I'll be preparing. I might know something that might be able to help with your sickness, but it'll take me through the night to prepare. But before I go up, I want to talk with Guy and Cilvy for a moment.
Sure, you take your time. I'm going to go have a little lay down.
Okay. All right. You guys get a table over in the corner. Looks like the same table that Ryla had been sitting at earlier, but she is not here in the common room.
Do I know which room is hers?
No, you do not.
Oh, that's right. She was in our room. I don't think that's canon. Is it canon?
I don't think no, it's not canon. It's not canon. You literally shot her down the night before, and then jokingly you said that she was in your bed. So.
Okay, so we need to get a hold of Gardenia somehow, and I don't see any of our friends here in this room. Cilvy, do you have a way to be extra sneaky? Maybe change your look a little bit, or turn into some kind of animal to sneak over there?
I don't know about that. Let's see. Right now, I don't really have a whole lot going on, to be honest. Best I could do would be a small illusion to create a distraction.
Okay.
maybe charm some people, but at this moment, I don't have a whole lot of spell slots anyway.
Guy, with your kind of history of being, in this kind of underworld, the seedier parts of town, kind of clandestine things that you have done in your past, you would know, or you would assume that when they said that nobody was following you, that very well could be true. It's not so much that nobody's following you, it's just that everybody is keeping an eye out for you. Does that make sense? And there are probably eyes everywhere.
Like these two shady-looking elves in the south end of the room.
That's Random Elf and Random Elf, yes. They are eating a nice meal of lembas bread.
Oh, okay. So one small bite.
One small bite. Yum, I'm famished. I'm stuffed. Okay.
I could always go out and try to talk with her as well. Or Cilvy and I, we could go together. Or I could try the Tobias thing. Or we could wait here until somebody we know shows up and kind of get them to do it for us. What do you think?
Well, is Ryla staying here? Like, I think
She was, but maybe she's gone already.
We might be able to convince the barkeep to just let us know what room she's in, and then she could help us find her friend.
I just want to say real quick, I love that when I roll, when you guys are talking, I can hear the conversation stop for a split second as everyone recognizes something just happened. All right. As you guys are having this conversation, Ornan, you head all the way up to the 3rd floor. You climb into the bottom bunk because you don't want to even take the effort to try to get up onto the top bunk. I don't remember which bunk you were on. I think Ryla was on the top bunk last time.
No, Ryla was in the bottom. Ornan called top bunk. So Ornan was on the top bunk. And Ryla wasn't there, apparently. Apparently it was just a joke. It's not canon.
As everyone's talking downstairs, Ornan, you climb into bed. You are starting to rest. Ornan, you lay down. Your stomach is killing you. You have a headache, fever. You're breaking out in a sweat, and then you're freezing cold.
It's the man flu.
I'm not sure drinking was the right call, but I'm never going to tell them that.
As you're laying there, with your illness, you don't even get to make a roll. Suddenly, someone is standing beside the bed. As you kind of crack your eyes open, you see a figure dressed in kind of ratty, rough clothing. You see there is this person is wearing a hat. They're short, probably halfling size, slight frame, but like dirty gloves on their hands, some kind of urchin of some kind. But the voice that speaks to you, you recognize from just an hour or so ago. It's Kestrel.
Knew it.
One of the leaders of the Ravenstone Clan. And she kneels down next to your bed. She says, "Do you remember me?" She pulls off her hat and reveals her face, and you recognize...
Oh, of course. Quite the looker.
You recognize her face. She says,
"The bride."
She says, "I'm very happy that you took us up on our offer to go and get my sister-in-law out from the castle. But I need to change the job just a little bit." And she sets down on your pillow next to your head a platinum piece. And she says, "I don't need her brought out. I need her silenced, and silenced for good." And that is where we're going to stop for tonight.
Why are you making us do crimes, Paul?
I'm not making you do crimes. You guys don't have to do anything you don't want to do. All right. Well, very good. Hey, guys, thanks for playing.
Why are you doing crimes? We're literally criminals.
That's
you
true.
guys have killed so many people already.
Also, just by nature of like being magical and like, I don't know, we're already criminals.
That's very true. Very true. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you guys for playing. It seems like something is not necessarily... let me start over.
Wait, like the whole episode?
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
Yes. Yeah. It seems like maybe the Ravenstone Clan is not all of the same mind. All right. Hey, don't forget, everybody, if you're listening and you want to hear us talk about this episode, go become a patron at the $5 tier or above, and you can hear us and your neighbor's potatoes. And until we get together next time, we hope you have a great time.